Hey everybody, I am here to do a demo of Conduit for you. This is our basic projects page. So in here, each individual line is an individual project or an electrical system. For instance, you have the name here. This is the Austin Woodland Apartments. Below that, you have the address. Over to the right is what's happening inside of that project. So we got an EV site walk, we have an EV readiness assessment, an arc flash analysis happening over here, and load analysis happening here at Caroline's Retail Center. Up top, we have a few options. First of all, we can Conduit works offline, so if you're in a basement or something like that, it's still gonna work, and it will sync with the cloud once you get an internet connection again. Here we have administrative pieces, adding and subtracting users, managing your account, that kind of thing. Intro videos, of which this will be one. It lives up here underneath this question mark. Next to that, we have this button that you can create a new project. So we're going to call this demo project. Below that is the type of project. Now we've got a site walk here, which is what we're going to start with. Everything leads to a single line diagram though, so eventually we're going to get to a single line diagram. We're going to start with the site walk, however. A readiness assessment is very similar to a single line, and then we also have a solar site walk. Some of our customers are doing solar installations now, so we've added this, and it has a different set of questions from the standard EV site walk that I'm going to click on here. And then below that, you can share Conduit with your subcontractors. So everybody that's on Conduit now has a space in here, and you can share a project with them if you so choose. A lot of our groups use that to share with their subcontractors as kind of a central source of truth. So I'm going to hit the save button up here. It's going to drop us into this site walk form. So the site walk form is going to have all the information in it that we need to do an EV charger installation. Hit the edit button here. We're going to put in our address. We are at 811 5th Avenue North, and that is Birmingham, Alabama, 35205. 35205. That's our company address. Below that, we've got the site walk information. So who is filling out, who's doing the site walk. So like the date that it was completed, the person that's doing it, their email and phone number, just as kind of a thing. I'm not going to make you watch me put in every single piece of that. We also have the customer information. So name of company, the primary contact person, the email and phone number. A lot of times our customers will fill this out before they go out there, or fill this out and send somebody else to go do it, like a business developer person, a salesperson, or an apprentice. You can fill this out for them, make sure they have all the information. Below that, we have site use, so we'll get into a little more specific EV stuff here. So let's say that this is, for instance, like a commercial office building. You select that, and then we can say, okay, this is a surface lot, and the distance from the electrical room to the charger site, we'll say, is 45 feet. We can save that, and then below that, we have got as-built electrical plans. So what you can do here, you can tap on this plus button, and you can take a new photo, which is, I'm running this on an iPad, and this will bring up my camera roll right here. So that's the front of my computer. And you can snap a photo right here in the field, or you can choose an existing photo, and it'll bring up your camera roll. You can select, so for instance, I'm going to add this, well, actually, that's not the right one. I'm going to delete that. We're going to add an as-built electrical plan. Go into here, we've got a as-built set of as-builts here. We can add as many as we want. As-built plans, we've also got lighting plans, like parking lot lighting plans. This is important not just for where's the light in the parking lot, but also where's the conduit, so you don't trench through it. So if they have existing as-built lighting plans for the parking lot, you want to make sure you get that. Below that, we've got utility bills. We'll go add one of these in here. Add a utility bill, and then we want to add a site plan as well. So I've got one right here. That's an overhead kind of site view of the plan. And then we've got general notes. So you can go in here and put in, say, for instance, say an extra wide sidewalk. So if you're going to have to trench through an extra wide sidewalk, you want to make sure you get that in there. You can put as many notes as you want. It's kind of a free-flowing field. Now over here to the right, we've got this checkbox. What this is doing is making sure that the person that is putting this in has verified that they've filled in everything they can up here. And that's important because you don't want to have to send somebody out there to go again. So if you're ever going to go back, it's very expensive. So below that, we can add some site photos. We'll add a photo of the electrical room. I've got a bunch of these in our demo photos out here. I'll add a shot of the electrical room here, for instance. We want to add a shot of the utility transformer. So we'll go over here and I'm going to find us a transformer. Oops, sorry about that. Transformer shot. So we're going to pole mounted transformer. Again, you can add as many as you want. It's just going to keep on adding boxes. We encourage everybody to take a lot of photos out there in the field. We're going to add a shot of the charger location. So so we'll put it in a parking spot here, and then we'll do the run to the charger, and then we're going to add a shot of like what you're going to have to trench through. Now all of these are high resolution photos. You can click on them, and then it will bring you out here. So these are high res. They're being saved in the cloud as you put them in there, and so on. You can also add a bunch of other photos. Like I said, we encourage people to take a lot of photos. With that, we can hit this checkbox here, so we're done with that section. If we have any existing EV chargers, we can add them here. We're going to say we don't, though, so that section is finished. But let's add a utility connection. So I'm going to go out here and say this is on the rear of the building. Service provider, around here it is Alabama Power Company, so we'll say APC. You can pull the utility ID off the meter. The phase wire distribution, we'll say that this is, say for instance, 3-phase, 4-wire. And we'll say it is 120 208 volt Y. We'll say, for instance, maybe 2500 kVA. Save that. So we get our utility connection, all of our details. If we click on it again, we can add photos. We'll go in here and add a shot of our utility connection. So an overhead service coming in. Save that. Oop, I need to go edit this. Just in wrong. R-E-A-R. What the? R-E-A-R. There we go. So save that. We've got our power source in there. We check that off. We can also add another utility connection if we need to, or even a generator. We'll add a panel. We'll call the panel, for instance, PP1. We'll say the location is in the electrical room. Just like that. So hit save. We'll add photos of that. So here's our panel. We want to make sure we get a shot of the front of the panel closed. So that way we get the name on the panel. Goodness, sorry about that. The name on the panel. We'll do the front of the panel open to make sure that we get, why is it doing that? Make sure that we get the front of the panel open to make sure that we get the breaker information so we know what the breakers are inside of there. And then let's get a shot of the panel schedule. So panel schedule here. So we got a panel schedule, the front and the front of the open and closed to make sure we get the name and the breaker information. We're going to save this. Now we got all of our photos that live with that piece of equipment. And then we're going to add a switchboard. We're going to call the switchboard, say, for instance, MS. We're going to say that it is in the electrical room as well. We'll save that, and then we're going to go add a photo of that switchboard. So choose existing photo. We're going to go down here. I think I've got one down here somewhere. Yeah, I have this one. Get some shots of the switchboard. Again, you can add as many photos as you need to here. We encourage people to add a lot. We're going to check this off, and now we've got this nice button down here that says Next Steps. And I'm going to hit that, and it's going to take us to the screen that says, okay, we can go one of two paths, and we're going to go down both of them. But the first thing I'm going to show you is the export to PDF, and this is going to generate what we call our sidewalk form. And it's going to make, it's an 8.5 by 11 set of documents. So we got our general notes, we got our electric room photos, our utility transformer, and this kind of becomes a lead document. So we hadn't gotten the project yet. We've got all the information about it so that we can share internally or even with our customer. Talk about all the parts and pieces of their electrical system and all the details about the site walk. And you can share this by hitting this little button up here, and you can, for instance, write an email right in here and share this directly out of Condoit. So share it with your boss or whoever it may be. Now the other direction is to convert it to a Condoit project, and that's going to be in the next video. I'll be right back to show you how that works.